active, and they believed in inclusion, as I do so fervently. So I had a wonderful time when I was with the Girl Scouts and with our 788,000 men and women in the workforce and 2.25 million girls and young women. These three men were just remarkably generous. And I could talk about transformation, about some departures, some things no one else was doing, but I thought we needed to be out there. And all three of them were very excited and very encouraging with our very powerful determination to be a richly diverse, inclusive organization with this rich representation right across the organization. And so they were mentors, they were cheerleaders, they friends, and I've always been so grateful that when I was beginning to working with those remarkable people who transformed the organization, I had three great authorities, great, very distinguished thought leaders who thought that transformation was the future. And while some people would say to me, you should go easy on the diversity thing, it's a little too soon, and I would say, thank you, and just we would go on our way, and it was a very rich, continues to be a very rich part of my life.
Yeah. Is the role of a mentor simply to give advice, or should they play a larger role in helping junior leaders strive to serve?
Oh, giving advice is a tiny part of it. The mentor becomes part of the family. And again, it's circular. And if the young person who is being mentored is just thinking within the walls, the mentor's job is to say, have you ever thought of, and describing some exciting, adventurous ways to serve. You move beyond the walls. And it becomes such a rich experience for both.
What advice can you give us cadets as we search for our mentors?
Have the largest dreams and expectations. Don't be afraid to think of the greatest person you can imagine. And you never think, well, I don't think I could approach this person. Of course you can. I would find the person I find most appealing, most inspiring. I'd like to be like that person. And then tell your story. That's all you have to do. I mentor 3 young women. And if you said to me, do you mentor any young people? And I said, no, I travel so much, I'm too busy. You should cancel the conversation. But one for 10 years. And she happens to be part of the military. And I just can't imagine. And when I speak to women who are faculty members of universities, I often say, how many young women are you mentoring? And if they look at me and say, well, none, I say, begin. It's the most exciting part of your life.
Yes, ma'am. West Point is steeped in tradition. Cadets pass along tradition after tradition to the underclassmen. Do you have any advice that you would like to pass on to the Corps?
The tradition that now has been given to you to carry on is one of the most valuable parts of your 4 years here and what you will do beyond. I love that phrase, the long gray line. For how many years?
Over 200, ma'am.
Over 200 years. Young men, now young women, are carrying on this inspiring tradition for over 200 years of serving, of duty, honor, country. And it's not only inspiring the Corps. When people like me, when civilians all over this country look at West Point and how all of you for 200 years have lived, duty, honor, country isn't a slogan. Or you've lived it, and many of you have died for it. So the tradition, when I talk about coming to West Point and standing on hallowed ground, I mean it. And when Forbes magazine looks at every college and business school in the United States and says, West Point is #1, we ought to look at the deeper meaning of that. There was a lot of competition there. And I have a feeling that in addition to the exemplary classes, curriculum, the learning, something about the tradition that adds a very special dimension to the classes, to the learning. And that's why every hour I spend with the West Point family for the next 2 years will be the greatest gift that anyone could give to me. And I will remember to serve is to live and do my best.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I thank you very much. It's been a privilege.
It's been a pleasure for me, ma'am. Glad you could come with us today.